Welcome back to the channel. My name is Steven. I'm a pharmacist. I own 52 units of real estate and help coach people to buy their first multifamily deal. So today I want to talk about the fastest path to financial freedom, in my opinion, using real estate, right? So this is, in my opinion, the fastest way to achieve financial freedom using real estate. And this is assuming that you're going to start off in single family, then transition over to multifamily, like my journey. So the fastest way to get started in real estate is house hacking. And what's nice about house hacking is you can do 5% down, 10% down, 3.5% down if you have an FHA loan. But the key is you just want to get started buying real estate and dip your toes. And house hacking is the fastest way because 10% down, 5% down doesn't sound as intimidating, even if you live in an expensive market like I did in the Bay Area. So the homes that I was looking at was $800,000 to $1 million. So 10% down would be $80,000. Or I could have done 5% down and that'd be like $40,000, which is possible, right? But the caveat I will say is you must have a good credit score. And number two is you must have a good debt to income ratio. So either have no debt, so hopefully no credit card debt, no car loans, no student loans, no personal loans, whatever it looks like. You want to make your debt to income ratio as low as possible. And if you want to know what your debt to income ratio is, just talk to any mortgage lender, and then they'll calculate it for you, right? That's the quick and dirty way. It's just to ask someone to do it for you. Or you can ask ChatGPT, right? But anyways, you want to make sure your credit score is good. Your debt to income ratio is good. So, hopefully you have a good W-2 job that you could, hopefully increase over time, right? Or job hop to make more money. But basically house hacking is the foundation, right? Because in a high cost living market like the Bay Area, like you could buy a house, you can live in the master bedroom because you need a place to live anyways. You can get 10% down. You can get great interest rates on conventional loans. The insurance is cheaper, and it's a great way to get you warmed up to be a landlord. So I lived in the master. I rented out each of the 3 bedrooms for $1,000 each. It gave me $3,000. That's enough to subsidize my cost of living. So that covered my mortgage, which was $3,000 on an $800,000 house that I put 10% down on. Interest rate was about 4%. And my total cost was $4,500 if you include property tax, insurance, HOA, utilities. So my all-in cost was $4,500. I was getting $3,000. So for me to live there was $1,500. But keep in mind, I'm getting principal pay down. I'm getting the tax advantages of owning real estate as a primary residence, and I have market appreciation, right? So in the Bay Area, from 2017 to present day, every year on average, the house appreciated by about $70,000, $80,000 a year, right? So imagine I put $80,000 down. Every year I made $80,000 in appreciation. If you include principal pay down, maybe that's like $90,000. So I basically got 100% return on my money every single year just to live in a house, right? And this is a high cost of living area. If I were to live in a cheaper area, so I was coaching one student who lives in Vegas, and you could buy a fourplex in Vegas for $500,000. If I could get a fourplex, duplex, triplex, I couldn't. That's why I went single family homes to house hack. I would house hack a fourplex, put 10% down, which is $50K. If you do 5% down, that's $25K. Live in one unit. I have my own privacy. And then I would rent out the other 3 units, or hopefully they're already rented out already, right? Because you could buy it with existing tenants. And hopefully those 3 tenants help cover the cost of your mortgage so that you can live in the house for free or for subsidized costs. And what's nice about a fourplex is if your debt to income ratio is not that great, they might consider some income from the other 3 units that you own as part of the income to help your debt to income ratio, right? I couldn't do this in California, but if I was in Vegas or somewhere cheaper, I would totally do this. And imagine I bought 4 house hacks in California, single family homes. That's only 4 units. If I had the opportunity to buy 4 house hacks, which are fourplexes, that's 16 units, right? It's more sophisticated. I wish I could have done that. So I would have bought 4 of these units, and then the goal is once I move out of my unit, I rent that out. That's the positive cash flow. And these are 2 bedroom, 1 bath typically, which are easier to rent out. So I would do that, right? So just any concept, house hacking, if you're in a high cost living area like the Bay Area, probably a single family home. If you live in a cheaper market, maybe you can house hack a duplex, triplex, fourplex, right? And over time, these will appreciate, and over time, they'll teach you how to be a landlord. So once these appreciate, so in my case, I bought 4 house hacks, and over since 2017 to today, they appreciate $500,000 each on average. I did a huge cash out refinance because I had a good debt to income ratio. Now these properties are cash flow negative, unfortunately, but I was able to take that money and dump that into multifamily real estate. And why I like multifamily real estate. So I could have done it multiple ways. I could have sold them 1031 exchange into multifamily real estate if I don't want to deal with this negative cash flow real estate, right? That could have been an option. Take the equity and trade up to an apartment complex which has cash flow. But because I didn't mind working, I said I don't mind having negative cash flow real estate, right? And in hindsight 2020, I wish maybe I sold it, right? But these properties have appreciated still, and my principal pay down still. It gave me tax benefits still. So I'm trying to play the long game here. So from there, I took out a bunch of money and used that to go buy apartment complexes, because my appreciation on single family homes is based on the market. It's based on what my neighbor's house sells for. If my neighbor's house sells for $1 million, my house is worth $1 million. If my neighbor's house sells for $2 million, my house is worth $2 million. It doesn't matter what the rents are for each house for single family. My house could be renting for $10,000 a month. My neighbor's house could be renting for $1,000 a month. The value is the same. It's based on sales comps for single family homes. For for commercial real estate, so apartment complexes, 5+ units. 5+ units. The value is based on the income. So if I had an apartment complex that gets $1,000 a month in rent versus an apartment complex that gets $10,000 a month in rent, the apartment, and they're right next door to each other, the apartment that gets $10,000 a month in rent can be worth 10 times as much because the income is 10 times. Oversimplifying it, right? So once I learned that, I said, okay, this is more in my control. So I could buy apartment complex in Oklahoma, which doesn't have much appreciation, natural market appreciation. Like if I were to buy a single family home in Oklahoma in 2017 and fast forward to today, not much appreciation. You buy a single family home in California in 2017, fast forward to today, a lot of appreciation, right? But California has no cash flow. Oklahoma has a little bit of cash flow. But with multifamily in Oklahoma, you get the best of both worlds, right? So I can buy an apartment complex for $500,000, 26 units. Average rent was $350 a unit. I came in there, I renovate all the units, right? A lot of tenants left, but I got new tenants in, but some tenants stayed and they upgraded to nicer units. I raised the rents up to market rent. Average was $700. So now my income doubled. And what's nice about expenses is, for the most part, they're fixed, right? Like property tax is the same. The water bill might go up a little bit. My electric bill might go up for common areas a little bit. My insurance is the same. My property tax is the same. My property management goes up a bit because it's a percentage. But overall, your expenses don't go up that much when you have more units. So I was able to double my rents, double my net operating income. I doubled the value. So I bought it for $500,000. I put $300,000 to renovate it. I'm all in for $800,000. It's now today worth $1.6 million. I had it appraised by lenders. So, I forced $800,000 of appreciation on this property. So I increased my net worth by $800,000 in about 2 or 3 years. That's tax free. And on top of that, this property cash flows on average $6,000 to $8,000 a month. $6,000 to $8,000 a month net tax free, which is enough to replace my pharmacist income right now. If it's $10,000 a month tax free, right? Like that's a high end pharmacist salary. So that's what I mean. This is the fastest path to financial freedom. Is you want to house hack, right? You start off house hacking single family homes if you're in a high cost area like me in California, or if you're in a cheaper market, you can house hack fourplexes. And eventually, if these appreciate in value, you want to either do a cash out refinance, get a HELOC on it, pull out your equity if you don't mind negative cash flow. Use that to go buy an apartment complex where you can force appreciation and get cash flow after you've renovated it, you raised the rents, and now it cash flows a lot, right? Like I could have on my apartment complex did another cash out refinance, pull out my down payment tax free, pull out my renovation cost tax free, but then I'd wipe out my $8,000 a month in cash flow. Maybe I'd be only cash flowing $1,000 to $2,000 a month, but I'd get the money tax free to go buy another apartment complex if I wanted to. But I chose not to because I'm waiting for a good deal, right? And I'm enjoying that cash flow now of $6,000 to $8,000 a month. So buy a house hack in California, single family home if it's a high cost living area, or a fourplex if you're in a cheaper market. Get 4 or 5 of these, right? So if you have four single family homes, you have 4 units. If you have 4 fourplexes, you have 16 units. You can do a cash out refinance on these if you can afford to, and put that into multifamily real estate where you're buying it under market, you have the ability to renovate it, and you have the ability to raise rents, you have the ability to raise the NOI, you have the ability to force appreciation, and now you can have massive cash flow. But you have to buy right. Or I could 1031 exchange my 4 single family homes or my 4 fourplexes and trade up to that apartment complex that I'm talking about, right? I have students do that too. So you do that. So now you're trading your house hacks, which are easy to get into, easy to dip your toes, and you're trading that up to apartment complexes, which cash flow. And the apartments is what gonna help you to retire, right? Because you have economies of scale. You have 30 units times $800 a month. That's $24K. Let's just say you have 50% expense. You have $12K, right? And then let's just assume that maybe your loan is maybe $6,000. So you have $6,000 a month in cash flow. Or if you own it free and clear, that's $12K of net cash flow. That's enough to replace your W-2 job. And you can get a 30-unit apartment complex that gets $800 a month in average cash flow in Oklahoma City or in the Southwest or the Southeast. Excuse me. It's possible, right? I just went on Zillow. I saw 3 deals around $2 million, and the gross rents is about $24K. Imagine you own that free and clear or low debt. That's all it takes, one deal. So you want a house hack, residential real estate, and trade that up to buy cash flowing multifamily real estate. That's the fastest way to retire with real estate. That's what I did, right? I bought house hacks in California, cashed out, refinanced those, transitioned that into cash flowing multifamily, right? If I were to sell my single family homes now in California, I could take that equity and pay off my apartment complexes, and now I own apartment complexes free and clear. That cash flow, it can cash flow significantly, right? So that's the game. That's the fastest way, in my opinion, to have financial freedom through real estate. House hack into multifamily real estate. So if you want to learn how to buy your first multifamily deal, I get it seems intimidating. Check out my mentorship program. Click on my link tree down below. From there, you'll see my links to my course, my coaching, my mentorship. And on the link tree, you can see my email. You can send me an email if you want a discount code or if you have questions. Otherwise, please check out my newsletter. It's also on my link tree as well. Please like, comment, subscribe. Hope to see you next one. Thank you so much.